I can't hear the song.
You can't hear the song?
Nope.
How about now?
There you go.
All right.
Sorry about that.
You want some more? More volume?
No. It's
All right. Okay. We've been having fun here tonight. We've had, as always, technical difficulties. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Mike Files. Here with my co-host Ricardo
Thank
Torres.
you very much, Mike.
Here in the studio. Oh, thank you, my friend. It's always a pleasure to have you here. We always have a great time, and we're just doing our little intro with our favorite song. I don't know. There's something about it. Great song. Hopefully Brandon Hart ain't going to hit me up on a copyright infringement.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I'd like to get him out here at some point.
Yeah.
Him and Tom and Nova. But I keep telling him that, but, you know, it's like, hey, they're celebrities right now.
Yeah.
I mean, they're blowing up, so, you know. I guess with your, like Tom and then your stuff you're putting out is number one on the Billboard charts.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Come out and hang out with some retards like us? You know,
Sadly.
I don't even know how to turn the computer on. Hey, you want to come be a guest on the show? I don't even know what the hell I'm doing. I'm doing something. I don't even know what. Here, I just probably start recording that too.
Yeah.
That's all right. We're live streaming anyway. So hey, shout out Facebook Live, YouTube. I'm trying to think of all the people I need to give shout outs to here tonight. There's too many of them.
Whoever
Y'all know who you are.
listening.
Y'all know who you are. That's where I'm gonna leave it.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're gonna fade out of this and we're gonna get into it. So we talked last week about what we were gonna talk about tonight. We kind of been watching a few things pre-show, talking about the UFO phenomena that's going on right now, and the fact that these things are being released and people are finding out. Now I don't know how many people are actually paying attention because it seems like a lot of people don't pay attention to much. I mean, you know, they're more worried about what Justin Bieber came out with. But
Sadly.
yeah. But anyway, you know, the Pentagon has released a bunch of this UFO stuff, and Ricardo and I were talking last week about some of our personal experiences with the paranormal, and we've both been through a number of different inexplicable scenarios that really don't point anywhere else than obviously something else that we don't recognize or understand. So you were talking about some things that you witnessed in Mexico City when you lived there.
Yeah.
You want to start with that?
Oh, sure. I mean,
okay. Yeah. I'd like to hear what. First of all, for those of you who don't know, Mexico City, what did we decide it was 11? Was it 11,000?
11,000 feet.
11,000 feet in elevation. So that's anybody here in Cody, Wyoming. We're right about a mile.
Yeah.
Denver is at a mile, so that's twice the elevation.
Yeah.
So that's up there quite a ways. So anyway, with that, I just wanted to let everybody know, because I think that elevation could probably play a part in the whole thing. I mean, when you're talking about another mile, I mean, obviously, puts you a little closer to the stratosphere.
I have no idea, but it's.
I mean, and then the crazy thing is too I mean, you got to have a lot of light pollution in Mexico City.
Oh
so
my
to
gosh!
see something.
The pollution is insane in Mexico City. I mean, when you wake up, you just see this fog. It's like it's smoke. It's like it covers everything, and it's there every day. So it's like you just grow up with that.
And at night, can you see the stars?
A little bit, but
just a little
bit. Yeah.
So it's got to be. I mean, that's comparable to Los Angeles. Yeah. But Los Angeles is at sea level. Yeah. And you're talking about being at 2 miles up.
Yeah.
And having that. I mean, but you're also talking about a larger population too. I mean, what's I'd have to look up what LA is, but it's up there. It's the greater Los Angeles area, I think, is around.
No, the population of
14 million. Mexico City's what, 27 million?
No, it's like 33 million. 33 if you count million. The outside areas, yeah.
And there's 100 plus universities.
Yeah.
100 plus universities in one city.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I know.
I mean, we have one here.
Yeah.
And it's that Okie doke place over there. That, I mean, when I came home, I went to school there, and that was one of the things I told my PO I was going to, be on the dean's list with a 4.0, and I don't know how I ended up getting put in a freshman communications class. Those kids could not even spell.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. I was like, why are you, I mean, what are you doing here? I was like, I mean, they couldn't read a sentence. And
oh my gosh.
Like, I mean, the last day of class, there was a substitute, and we'd had to turn in a final presentation or whatever. And she came in and she goes, well, anybody who got over an 85% is free to leave. And she was like, Mr. File, that'd be you. And I'm like, nobody else in this class got over an 85%?
It's like, what the heck?
A freshman communications class final presentation?
Yeah.
She's like, would you like to stay and tutor some of these kids?
I'm
like, actually, I need to get back to Cody so I can go read to my son's kindergarten class. And I think that's probably time better spent than tutoring these idiots. Sorry, idiots, but if you're a freshman in college and you can't read a sentence,
you deserve that.
You might. I don't know. Welcome to the oil field.
Yeah.
Anyway, so back to the picture. So what kind of things did you witness down in Mexico City?
Oh my gosh, I witnessed a lot. It's insane because it's like a whole different culture. So.
Right.
But let's start with UFOs, I guess.
Right. Yeah. I mean, because we kind of talked about that.
Yeah.
And you were saying you saw some of the similar things I think that I've seen. So.
I mean, this happened when I was like about 9 or 10 years old.
Yeah.
And I wasn't in Mexico City at the time. I was in Querétaro, which is a couple hours north of Mexico City.
Oh, okay.
I was visiting with my cousins, and one night, I mean, we used to play in their yard because it's a huge yard, and they had a couple dogs, and we were just playing outside. My sister, my 2 male cousins, a female cousin, and we were just messing around, and then we see this formation up in the sky of like 6 UFOs, or I don't know, what do you call them?
Well, now they have a new term. What they call them earlier? UAPs or something
UAP.
like that? I don't even. Yeah, is that an unidentified aerial
phenomenon?
Something like that. I don't know. Idea. Whatever. We'll just call it a UFO.
Yeah.
That's what everybody knows.
Yeah. So anyways,
UAP.
They were moving all in a formation, and they couldn't break the formation. I mean, they were all moving at the same speed, and they hung out for about 20 minutes, and then out of nowhere, they decided it was time to leave, and they just flew.
What colors did you notice?
They were blue, yellow, white.
Were they changing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the stuff that I've seen too. And it seems like what I've seen has been red, green, and white.
I didn't see green, but I did see red, and that was so weird that they were like floating in the sky, and they were changing colors, and then all out of nowhere they were gone.
Were you able to see them or did they just gone?
They were gone like that. It's like they were there in the sky 1 second, and then the next second they were gone.
Yeah. No, it's crazy how fast those things move. And like I said, I think it was 2 summers ago, I was sitting out back at night, and it was one of those clear nights. I saw the same type of thing. Yeah. It was like a formation of them, and they were red, white, and green, and they were flashing, and they were in formation.
Yeah.
And it was like they were coming closer, and then they were backing off, but they stayed in the formation, and then the same thing. Just poof, and they're just gone.
Yeah.
And you're like, what in the hell is that shit?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. With all this stuff coming out now with the Pentagon release and all these, these different things, it's pretty wild. And I think we're starting to realize that we're not alone.
For sure, we're not alone.
And like I've said, I part of me thinks that we're the aliens, and I've always kind of thought that.
Yeah.
Just because we don't fall in line with any species on this planet. We're uncomfortable all the time.
Yeah.
We're always complaining about the hot, the cold, the wind, the this, the that, the everything. And you watch a cow. or a
they're
horse.
perfectly happy.
It's 20 below. They're out there just trying to find something to chew on. They don't care. I mean, same with elk. I mean, animals. They migrate altitudinally, depending on the time of year.
Yeah.
I mean, the summertime they go up higher. Wintertime when they get the snow, and that pushes them down. But I mean,
that's it. I mean,
but they're not like uncomfortable. We're uncomfortable.
Yeah,
like
all
5 degrees one way or another, and everybody's complaining about it.
Yeah.
I mean, and we can't survive out. We can't survive in exposure.
No,
we can't. Period. We have to wear clothes. I mean,
let me say that coming from Mexico, I mean, when I used to live in Maryland and we invited my parents over, they got off the plane and they were like, "Oh my gosh, it's freezing," and it's like, wait, it's like 30 degrees. It's not freezing yet.
Yeah.
But they're like, it's freezing. You're insane. How on earth don't you feel this? And it's like, it's not.
So at 11,000 feet in Mexico City, what do you get for a winter? Do you get snow?
No.
No snow.
No snow.
At 11,000 feet, no snow.
No snow.
That's crazy. I mean, there's not a place in North America that at 11,000 feet doesn't get just a ton of snow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's up there for a ski resort.
Yeah.
I mean, we would go up to the top of Arapahoe Basin, and that hit 13. And I mean, coming from here at a mile and going up there, I mean, we would be just wore out at the end of the day at 13,000. I mean, and it's bizarre that at 11,000 feet there's no snow.
It doesn't snow ever.
What's the temperature range down there? Is it? I mean, does this stay kind of the same, or I mean, how close to the equator is Mexico City?
It's kind of close. I mean, yeah.
So it doesn't have a lot of variance, or
I mean, the coldest it gets is like 45 degrees.
Wow.
And the warmest it ever gets is like 90.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. When my parents used to come visit us in Maryland, they were like, "Oh my gosh, it's freezing." We're like, "What are you talking about?"
Huh? That's that. I mean, People come out here to visit too, and they're like, this is I mean, it could be December, January. It's like 33 degrees. It's like, what do you mean? It's a balmy day.
Yeah,
it's very nice.
Yeah,
and you get used to it.
Yeah.
I mean, you get very used to it. I remember when I first moved to Seattle, and you think of Seattle as being I mean, a lot of weather. But the first year I was there, it snowed one day like 4 inches.
Yeah.
And I jumped in my truck and went to work.
Yeah.
There was nobody on the interstate. There was nobody going anywhere. I got to the job. There was nobody on the job site. None of the guys I worked with were on the job. Nobody.
Yeah.
And so I called the boss, the boss of the company, and I'm like, "Hey, I'm here. Like, where's everybody at?" He's like,
"Why? What?"
He's like, "What?" But he's like, "It snowed."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Huh?" I'm like, "It's like 4 inches of snow. What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
And no one showed up. Like, I'm sitting there, the gates locked, nobody was there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I guess all right, snow day. I mean,
let me say that I used to live in Utah, and we were more used to snow than they were in Denver. And once I moved to Denver, it was the same deal. It was like it snowed one day, and I showed up to work, and there were only like 5 of us there, and we were like, "Where on earth is everyone?" And they're like, "They're at home."
Well, that's crazy.
Yeah,
because Denver. You think about Denver, I mean...
Yeah.
But I know that the last number of times I've been down there in the wintertime, I mean, I know I went to some New Year's concerts down there and different things in the winter. And I mean, it'd be like 50, 60 degrees in Denver, downtown, I was like, what? So I don't know. Maybe that is global warming or I don't know what it is. But Denver actually seems like it's pretty mild.
Yeah.
But I know, Utah gets crazy snow. I remember I got snowed in Park City trying to get to Reno way back in the day, and that was Jesus, that was a nightmare. That was a nightmare, getting stuck drinking 3-2 beer and
bad beer in Utah. It's like horrible.
Oh God, it's horrendous, absolutely horrendous. The last time I stayed there, I knew that I was going to get stuck there overnight.
Oh my God.
And so on the flight in, I always had whatever the Delta app is where you can get the internet,
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get a hotel room, and so I get on Expedia and
go out, get a couple
I try
of
to
drinks.
I try to find a hotel that says that they have a bar.
Yeah.
And I think it was either a Hyatt or a Hilton out there by the airport. And I rent the room, and touchdown, get in a Lyft or an Uber, I can't remember which, but one or the other, and they drop me off, and I go in, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, there's no bar here. And the guy's like, and I'm like, give him my credit card or whatever, and like, where's the bar?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, it's right around the corner. I'm like,
where?
And there's there's like a deli fridge with some sandwiches and like a couple of bottles of beer up on a shelf.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, can I just get a 6-pack of Fat Tire, please? And he's like, well, you have to order a sandwich. I'm like, I'm not hungry.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, you have to have a food. And he goes, and then you can only have one beer. And I'm like, so I got to buy one sandwich and then I get one beer? And he's like, well, yeah. I'm like, oh, God. So I'm like, where's the closest store? And he's like, well, so I got here. I call another Lyft, and then I pick a ride up there. And I go in there, and I'm looking through the beer shelf in the stupid convenience store, and everything's 3.2%. I'm like, what is this crap? I mean, all I did was I had to piss real bad, and I got a headache. I mean, it was. And I figured out.
I feel bad because it's like,
I mean, from traveling through there, I realized that like I would always go into the squatters pub at the airport.
Yeah.
And don't get the beer on tap. People don't get tap beer because it's all 3.2.
Oh my gosh!
So I would get they had this one that was like a 9.1% like IPA.
Okay.
I can't even remember the name of it now, and they would sell it to you like in a 22-ounce bottle.
Good. At least, yeah.
But if you got it on tap, it was all 3.2.
Oh my gosh.
It was the squat. Oh, Hop Rising is what it was called.
Okay.
Made by Squatters. Which is, I mean, they do make some pretty good beer.
Yeah.
Unless you get the 3.2 shit. Then you just got to piss and you got a headache.
Yeah.
I mean,
oh my gosh.
What a weird place. What a weird place.
Thank God I moved out of there because it's like, oh.
I remember the first time going through there way back in the day. This was like probably in 95, 96.
Yeah.
I'm driving through and the weather was terrible. And I just wanted to get off the interstate and I just wanted to go get a beer. So I pull off down and I go to this, every bar that I see, it's called a private club.
Yeah.
And so they're not letting this. Finally, this like old drunk dude walks by and I'm like, dude, hey, excuse me, sir. How can a guy get a beer around here? And he goes, well, I'll sponsor you if you buy me one.
What?
Yeah, and I said, okay. And so he takes me in and he signs me up on the list. And basically the deal is I got to buy him a beer and then they put me on the list and then I'm now a member of this place. And I'm like, okay.
What?
I wonder if this stupid monitor is making that noise. You hear that feedback?
Yeah.
You're getting it too?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, geez. I'll probably screw everything up now.
No, it's okay.
I was just thinking about moving it over here, but if I can't, then I can't. I don't know. We might lose the stream, folks, because I am a technological moron. Let's see if that... I just want to see if I move it over here. If I can. Come on. Why is it not moving over here now? There we go. All right. I'm just thinking maybe we shut this down over here. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for bearing with us during this time of technical difficulty. Negative. We're still getting feedback.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't know why. I don't know why. I wonder if it's because of that. Nope. Interesting. I don't know what we're going to do. You're just going to have to listen to it, folks. I'm sorry about the whizzing and whirring. It's the UFOs.
I swear, we'll have it fixed by next time.
Yeah, next time. Yeah. It's something it could be the TV. It might be that big TV up there. There's something giving us some interference. Could be the phone. Let's see. That seemed to have made it better.
Yeah.
I think that was it. By golly. I think we've solved the equation, ladies and gentlemen. We've solved it. Thank you. Golf clap. All right, so back to the UFOs.
Yeah.
So I've also had some experiences with the UFOs, and a lot of them happened out in Nevada, which is not really a big surprise. I mean, that's a weird state, but like I was telling you that night that we had the one that was, we were just sitting there, me and my buddies, and we're just sitting there drinking beer, and I mean, this red light is just going nuts, and then it keeps coming across the lake at us and gets closer and closer and closer, and just scared the living hell out of us, and we finally left, and it chased us all the way to the pavement, and then did the same thing, just gone.
Which is so crazy that they all just take off that way, and it's like...
Yeah, they just make these movements that are...
You're like, that's not normal.
No, not at all. I mean, well, it's not normal for us. I mean, because we don't... obviously we don't...
we don't have a plane
we don't move. We don't move that way. But it's obviously normal for them. I don't know. It's bizarre. I mean, anybody that thinks that we're just alone here on this spinning rock, I think you're... I don't know. I'm not passing judgment, but I think you're,
I mean,
I don't know.
It's kind of crazy with that UFO story that I mentioned earlier. I regularly kept that very close to my chest because I just don't want people to think that I'm crazy or...
Right.
So it's like better to keep it to myself and to my cousins who experience it with me, but that's it. I mean, we don't tell it out loud.
Yeah, I know a lot of my experiences I've been the same way with, but lately I don't care. I'll just, whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, there's definitely another plane. There's another realm, if not, another 2, 3, 4. I mean, we live in 3D, and quite frankly, it's probably more like a 8D.
Yeah.
We just can't see the rest of it, I mean, sometimes we get a glimpse of it, but I don't care if I sound crazy. Everybody thinks I'm nuts anyway, so who cares? Like, I've witnessed some really
it's like when my grandfather was about to pass away, I mean, he was so happy because he was seeing all of his old friends and like all of the people he used to know, and he was talking to them, but everyone in the room was like, who on earth is he talking to? I mean,
right, and yeah, I mean, they say that, and I don't know if you're familiar with the chemical DMT.
Yeah,
they say that when you're born, you get a dose of DMT.
Okay,
and that's something that's actually in our body. It's in our brain, and then when you die, you also get hit with a dose of that.
Okay,
and they call it the spirit molecule.
Okay,
and I don't know if you've ever done it.
No,
but it's really a it's hard to explain.
Okay,
you literally take off out of your body. It lasts about 15 minutes, and you literally, and you're gone.
Yeah,
and it really like if you've seen any of like the transformation that like Mike Tyson went through, right?
Yeah,
I mean, he was very much wrapped up in the ego of who Mike Tyson was, right? For a long time.
Yeah.
He and anymore, he did, he was in a fight not too long ago, and he trained very hard, and he went out and won, but his ego has left him because he tried this DMT. And you basically leave your body and you realize that like you're one with everything.
Yeah.
And that your idea of who you are is really rather unimportant.
Mm-hmm.
But that you are part of everybody, and it's a very interesting experience. But so anyway, getting back to my point and with the whole thing, I guess is when my grandmother passed away last December, I was trying to get down to the home. I had gotten a call from my mom, and she said that she was going, and we were anticipating it was going to be a couple of days, and so I'd made arrangements to go down the next day. But she called and she said, "You better get down here." And so I jumped in the truck, and I got down there as quick as I could, and I missed her. And when I pulled in, my mom came outside and said she's gone. You can come in and check, and look at her, say your goodbyes.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't need to say my goodbyes. I'm like, I don't want to see her like that. And I said, how'd she go? And she said, well, she goes, at the end, she said she was looking up in the corner, and my mom, she didn't tell me what she said to her, but she said she whispered something in her ear and she wouldn't disclose it to me.
Yeah.
But then she said my grandma just looked up and she said she was just fixated on like the corner of the room and had this big smile on her face. And she said a tear rolled down her eye. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden she just went, oh, and then was gone.
Yeah.
It was gone. So I mean, my thought was that's maybe she was seeing my grandfather, or her mom, or maybe a combination of maybe everybody was sitting there waiting for her to make the train. I mean, only she knows, and that's what's crazy, and that's what's scary, and people are.
But I just think that when we actually take that step to the great to beyond the next, or whatever,
it's just a transition, is all it is. I mean, everything that this is it's just a car. Matter. It's just a car, really. Yeah, we're consciousness. I think. Yeah, I think we're consciousness, and I don't think that consciousness ever. It doesn't die. No, it doesn't. I mean, it just we make a transition, and I think that we're here for a reason. Yeah, I don't know what it is. No, I mean it's hard to say.
And let me say that when I suffered the brain injury, I had 2 strokes. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was really close. I mean...
wow, I didn't know you had 2 strokes as well. Holy cow. Good grief. It's amazing that you're here. Yeah. I mean, like you said, you lost maybe 10 years off your life from but you also came through it, so every day is a gift. Yeah. Because it could have all been
it could all be gone like that, so...
The flip side of the coin is like maybe once it's all gone and it's done, then maybe it's on to better things too. That's why they always say he's in a better place. He's looking down upon us. Like I love that. I love that about it. Oh, he's looking. Oh, where? Like your loved one or your friend or whoever. He's up there looking down upon us. Mm-mm.
I think that's a bunch of bullshit.
Oh, it is a bunch of bullshit. Yeah, it's so funny. They're in a better place, and if they're looking down upon us right now, why would they want to? Why would anybody want to do that?
And
if you leave this world, the last thing I think you want to do is sit here and look down on this shit.
It's kind of funny that I used to believe in God probably by 2010, and then I became an atheist. Yeah. And then all my belief in him stopped because it's like, what the fuck am I doing? It's like, who am I praying to? It's like, no. Right.
Yeah, and and you say him. Well, how do you know it's a? I mean,
we don't know.
Why is it? I mean, if there is a higher power, is it a he or a she?
We don't know.
We don't have a clue. We don't have a clue, but we want to fight about it. That's for sure. That's what's crazy is we're so idiotic that we want to fight about it with one another. I think God's a female. I think God's a man. I think God's black. I think God's white. It's like I don't think that's even.
But it's funny that after the brain injury, I tried to go to a Mormon church, and then after one visit, I was like, "This is all bullshit." I tried to go to the Catholic church, and then I was like, "This is all bullshit."
It is.
And so then my wife is like, "So what religion do you want to belong to?" I was like, "You know what? I'm happy being who I am. I don't need a religion to tell me who I have to be."
I'd be the Church of Ricardo. I mean, really, why not? Yeah. It's like, well, we were watching George Carlin earlier, and there was that sketch that he does where he goes, one of the biggest pieces of bullshit out there is religion. He goes, so I decided I was going to worship the sun and pray to Joe Pesci. Yeah. Because I think Joe Pesci's the kind of guy that'll get things done. And really, I mean, who cares? It's so silly, and I mean, there's so many different religions, and who's to say? It's so funny. I mean, organized religion is probably responsible for more death.
Oh yeah,
in human history, civilization, than any other faction. I mean, and it's like your guy has this hat on, your guy has that hat on,
It's like,
you know, you got the magic man, or you don't have the man. You know, I mean, it's like
in Spain with Catholics and Muslims. It's like, why the fuck were they fighting? It doesn't make sense.
Right, and then even within the Muslim religion, you've got the Sunnis and the Shiites. That hate one another. And I mean, then you look at the organized religion in this country. I mean, a lot of people don't even know what a Mormon is. A lot of people despise the Mormons. A lot of people, they hate the Catholics. They hate this. They hate that. They hate it's like hate. But yet they're trying to pass this message of love along about they're all knowing, all loving God. But yet they hate one another because like you don't have the
you're different from me.
You don't have the right magic man. You're telling different, and I mean it's like and then you hear them talk bad about like the Quran, right? Like the Quran is a violent, awful. Read the Old Testament of the Bible.
Oh my gosh, it's
like, one of the most violent. I mean, pieces of literature. I mean that's. I mean, you put that up against the Quran, and it's like, I mean.
Yeah, it's the same crap. It's like,
I mean you've got this God that's trying to make this guy kill his son just to test him, Yeah. Will you kill your son? Oh, hey, what? Now stop now.
No,
stop! Don't do that. And the dude's ready to do it because God said so. And I mean, they're doing animal sacrifices, and a guy talking to a burning bush, the 10 Commandments.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, really, what's that come down to? It's like do no harm.
And you know what's funny is that
3 words: do no harm.
Even though my wife is still a Mormon, she doesn't look at Mormonism ever since she married me, because it's like. I got her thinking, because every time I question something, she's like, wait, he's right.
Yeah. Well, and the experience that both you and her went through is, I mean, that's kind of a life altering event, and I mean, when you sit there and when you're talking about I don't know, it's just, I started having problems with it at a young age.
Yeah.
And I really started having problems with it in college, and like I said, the what really set me off was like the pregame prayers.
Oh my gosh,
that shit just drove me fucking nuts.
Yeah.
To sit there and watch some little preppy sit there and pray. Everybody's got to take their hat off and act all solemn and sincere.
It's like,
and dear Heavenly Father, please grant us victory today in this battle of sticks and balls out here on this stupid field where we all have all this great gear and all these privileges, and kids are starving and dying in Africa of terrible disease, and we need to kick their ass. I mean, do they think that there's this guy up there like sitting on a fucking like a armoire or sitting there to like kick back in a like in a lazy boy with his sandals up and his white robe going, I hear your prayers. Thank you. May you be victorious today.
No way.
And he's sitting up there like messing with the game. Like he's got his fingers. He's like making the other team make errors.
And it's like what makes your football game more important than people dying in the Middle East?
Right. Like, exactly.
Why?
Or people dying of cancer or AIDS or people going through any number of things. Homeless people. I mean, like God cares more about a bunch of rich white kids playing a baseball game than he does about the homeless and the suffering and the sick and I mean it just goes to show you that there's not a God. Sorry. I mean, really.
I agree.
I mean, really. I mean, God is a man, basically. I mean, and I think that's what it comes down to. Is like we are all our own entity, and we are our own God, and we're our own devil, and we have benevolence and we have malevolence inside of each of us. We have a shadow, and we have a side that is good and decent and caring and compassionate, but we also have the capacity to do terrible, evil fucking shit. We all do. And until you come to terms with that, you're really not going anywhere, because until you recognize that, you ain't almighty and holy and this and that and other thing, because underneath that shit, look at, this was years back. Look at that. There was that oh God, what was it? Ted something. He was a pastor down in like Colorado.
Okay.
And he preached vehemently against homosexuality, right? And turned out that he was a meth addict.
Yeah.
And he was a homosexual.
Exactly. It's like,
so
why don't you come out clean? It's like,
yeah, but a lot of times what people are like adamantly against is what they are.
Yeah.
Which is funny because it's like, you know, I mean, it's crazy how many times that turns out to be true, you know. And I mean, it's like they've got these demons inside of them, and so, but then they have a platform to, I guess, speak out against these demons that they have, or whatever. Or what? I mean, who cares? You're a drug addict, homosexual, big fucking deal.
Yeah.
Go do you, man. Whatever, exactly. Man. If that's what you're gonna do, go do you.
Exactly.
I don't really care. You know, I mean, you want to go do booty bumps off of you know, I mean, whatever. I mean, who cares? I mean, but then you go on Sunday and sit there.
Oh yeah, it's like
and just fire and brimstone against, you know, all the gays and the drug addict. You know, and you're out there doing meth off of you know, I don't even know what you call I guess a male prostitute, whatever. Who gives a shit? I don't care. It's just funny it's funny how that shit always works out, you know. What was the other one? There's been all sorts of these guys that do that shit. These preachers and stuff that are just, you know,
so fucked up. It's like,
yeah. I mean, it's like they're out there like battling themselves. Or it's like, but that's who exactly. You are. You're cheating on your wife. You're stealing. You're like cheating on your taxes. You're embezzling money. You're doing this. You know, you're a spiteful, hateful person.
Yeah.
You're judgmental.
And
you're everything.
And yet, who gets the judgment? Us, because we're regular citizens trying to do what's right.
And then they say, "What would Jesus do?"
Yeah. Fucked.
What would Jesus hung out with fishermen that were like, I mean, those guys were, I mean, you know, the apostles in the Bible, they were guys like me.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Yeah.
I mean, like, they were, you know, guys that had been in all kinds of trouble, fights, this, that, the other thing. I mean, had filthy mouths, you know.
Yeah.
I mean... And then that's who
they were not in church every week.
No, and that's what's funny is I always get a kick out of that whenever I see somebody with a WWJD. That's like, what would Jesus do? He wouldn't wear that bracelet.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, and I always used to tell people that at that Christian school too. I'd say, you know, you want to say what would Jesus do? I said, Jesus would be hanging out with me.
Yeah,
you know. Not to put myself on any kind of a pedestal, but honestly, I mean, those were the kind of guys that he hung out with.
Yeah. Because he doesn't have time to hang out with all those people who pretend to be good. And,
I mean, what screwed him was when he went and messed with the money, you know.
Yeah.
When he went and messed with the you know, the tax collectors, that's what did him in.
Yeah.
But I mean, that always cracks me up is the whole "what would Jesus do" thing. That's like, I don't think y'all have read that book.
No.
I've read it a number of times.
Yeah.
And you know. Do I believe that Jesus was a man? Okay, sure. Do I think that he was born of a virgin?
No.
See, that's one of those. You know, I mean, do I believe that he was raised from the dead? No, I don't. I don't. I don't think so.
No.
I don't believe so. But hey, believe what you want.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm not going to judge you.
No,
but if you want to believe that and it makes you a better person and that's what you need to believe, then hey,
then be who you are.
More power to you.
Yeah.
You know, if that's what it takes to be a good person, then hey, go ahead. I don't care.
No, it's like if you believe that you gotta pray like 20 times a day, just do whatever you want.
Right.
Exactly.
And I mean, beliefs are a rough thing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, beliefs are difficult because people get so wound up in those beliefs that they you know, they think that they're absolute truth, and it's like, really, it's not. You know, I mean, they talk about in Christianity and other religions about having faith, and it's like, okay, that's fine.
No,
but when you're talking about an intangible thing that you can't see, you can't touch, you don't know, and then they say, well, what if you're wrong? Well, now you're living your life in fear.
Yeah.
Because you're living your life scared of what's going to happen when you die. And we're all going to fucking die. So if there's an all-knowing, all-loving God, then how is he going to say that you're going to fucking burn?
No.
You know what I mean?
And
it's not. I mean, there might be a place for child molesters and rapists and people. I mean, maybe, I don't know. I don't know.
But
I don't know.
Let me say, like, before I came to the U.S., I used to be a Catholic. Horrible Catholic, but...
I don't know how you did that. I've been to a couple Catholic services.
I mean, I used to go to Catholic school.
Oh, God.
And then I moved to the U.S., and then I was like, wait, that's all bullshit.
Yeah.
And I reached that conclusion on my own. And then I suffered a brain injury. And then my parents came to the U.S., and they were with me, and my parents were there in the room when they were asked them whether I wanted a priest by my side, and both of my parents were like, I don't think so.
Yeah.
And then...
What's that going to do?
No, yeah, but then after all of the brain injury and stuff, I asked my parents, like, why did you deny the priest in the room? And they're like, because we just don't think it would have had any effect. Yeah. And I was like, wow, what made you open your eyes to that?
So your whole... Yeah. You're you know, all through growing up, your parents were devout Catholics.
Not devout, but they were Catholics that went to church every now and then.
So. But that's predominantly everybody in Mexico. Yeah. I mean, and then, I just don't even know how you get through those services. They're so goddamn long.
Yeah, no, but both of my parents now are like agnostic.
Are they?
Yeah, because of me. It's like...
Well, they... You know, I mean,
they still believe in a God, but they're like, we don't even know what he is. It's like, what?
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, and I'm kind of the same. I mean, do I believe there is something higher than us? There is a higher power than us, I think. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
Exactly.
The only thing I can control is what I do.
Yeah.
That's it. From day to day, I can control what I do. And sometimes I do good things, and sometimes I do fucked up shit.
Yeah.
You know,
just like everyone else.
You know,
like
and all I try to do when I do the fucked up shit is try and apologize and make it right, because I'm gonna do it again.
Yeah,
it's gonna happen. It's just that's the way life is.
It's part of life. Exactly.
It is. You're gonna fuck up. You're gonna fail. You're gonna screw up. You're gonna make mistakes. And I've been trying to explain that to my son. It's like, dude, you're gonna fail, but it doesn't give you. It doesn't give you like the right of way just to be a fuck up. But. By knowing that, but if you don't fail, you don't succeed.
Yeah.
You don't learn.
It's better to be prepared to fail than not even expecting it.
And to, you know, when you fail, it needs to be like a situation where you were trying to use your best thinking, trying to, you know, where you're, because that happens.
Yeah.
I do it all the time. I use my best thinking. I got this nailed in. And then it's just boom.
Yeah.
Explosion in my face. Yeah. You know, and then it's like, oh shit, now I got to pick up the pieces again.
Yeah, but guess what? You do that, and then you realize, like, okay, how can I improve myself?
Right, and that's how you learn.
Yeah.
If you don't do that, then you don't succeed. You don't, you know, and you take chances too. Yeah. You know, that's the thing. You got to take chances. You got to take risks. You have to. Like for myself to start this whole thing up.
Yeah.
Was a pretty big risk. I'm putting myself out there. Now you're out, you're with me. You're along for the ride too now.
Thank God. And it's like you got me out of my Walmart shell. So it's
you're having a good time. We have a great time with it. And I'm really happy that we're doing it. And hopefully, I'm not gonna say hopefully. I've had some haters say like, what are you gonna be, the next Rogan? Huh? I'm like, no, because there's only one Rogan, and I don't want to be him. I said, but it's going to be awesome when I have him on my show.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And that's the way I look at it. It's like you got to shoot for, you know, you have to keep telling yourself, and you have to believe in yourself, and you have to believe that what you're doing is going to, you know, it's going to go big places.
Yeah.
And if you don't, then you shouldn't be doing it. And I feel like with this, and I feel like you and I met. Honestly, man, it's a crazy scenario when you think about it, the fact that you and I are sitting here having this conversation right now, because, you know, look at it. I wouldn't, had we not just struck up the conversation.
Yeah.
I'd never known about your story.
Yeah.
But I had a feeling when I talked to you that I had a feeling there was something up with you that
I have no idea what it was.
I just thought, man, there's something about this dude that like he's not telling it. Like you had this, it was like I could just see like you were just going through the kind of the motions of working that job, but that there was something else going on that you weren't talking about to anybody else. And that's why I was like, what's up? What's going on? And here we are.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's great.
Who knows where it's going to go?
I have no idea, but
I don't either, but I love it.
For the ride,
it's great, man. It's great. Yeah. I mean, I have no doubt that it's going to go to great places. And I've got I've got a ton of positive feedback about it. Everybody has very kind words to say about you. They're like, Ricardo's a great co-host. And I'm like, yes, I know. I said, Ricardo's a man, and I mean, it's an honor to have you here. And I mean, the conversations we've had so far have just been great.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to getting some guests on to where we can do some interviews with people and just move on down the road, And
wait, should we keep talking about UFOs?
Oh yeah, we could do that. Yeah, for sure. I don't care. Yeah, we can keep going with UFOs.
It just completely blew my mind.
We kind of went in a different direction, but we always seem to do that.
It's fine. It's like
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how long we've even been going. It's been a little bit, I guess. I don't know.
I don't mind because I can come back in a couple of days.
Oh yeah. No, we'll keep it. We're going to keep it going anyhow. We kind of got off. I guess talking about religion is a little bit about UFOs too. I guess it is 1:30 in the morning.
Just let me say a religion. It's like,
religion is silly.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's something that does people, it makes people better in their life. Hey, that's fine. I'm not going to come down on anybody for their religion.
Let me say, like, my father-in-law invited the sister missionaries today to eat dinner with us.
Yeah.
And I was completely formal.
Yeah.
But I was like, that's it. That's like the extent I want to have any conversation with them. Because it's like,
right.
I don't care about what they're preaching. I don't give a damn. It's like.
No, it's funny because I think I told you there was two of the sister missionaries that used to come by here when they were on their mission, and they were here in Cody. And the first day they came by the house, I have a no soliciting on the door.
Yeah.
And they come up and they proceed to ring the bell, and I just got home from work, and of course I come up and I got my a wife beater on and my my work clothes and whatever, and and I'm like, I had the screen up instead of the window on the door. I said, "So you guys can't read or what?" And I knew I could tell right away that they were LDS missionary. I was just messing with them, and they kind of got all like, "Oh," and I'm like, "I'm just kidding." And I opened the door up, and I said, "How you sisters doing today?" And they're looking at me and they're like, "You got a lot of tattoos, And I'm like, "Yeah, I know."
Like, it's normal.
And I'm like, first of all, I said, if you'd like to come in, I said, I got some cold iced tea in here. I said, I don't know if you'll drink caffeine or what,
Oh my
and they're like, well, no, we're fine. And I was like, well, hey, I said, you can either talk to me like a human being or you can try and peddle your wares, but I'm not buying. And they're like, huh? And I'm like, seriously, I'm like, okay, I'm going to tell you right now. I said, have you ever met a pagan before?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, no. I said, well, I'm a pagan. I said, you see the tattoos I got? I said, all these tattoos, these are all pagan tattoos. I'm like, I'm an Odinist. I'm like, I said, I go back to the old country, I'm Norwegian.
Yeah.
And that's who I am, and I said, but if you want to talk about your 10 commandments, I'll talk to you about my 9 noble virtues.
That's right.
And we had a conversation, and it went for a long time, and then they kept coming by, and it was great. I mean, I've always got along, like I said, I've always got along with people of the Mormon faith.
Yeah.
In any faith, for that matter. It's just, it's the judgmental people that, that's the type of shit that I can't handle. But it seems like if you're just upfront and honest with people.
Yeah.
And it was cool because the whole time they were here, when they would come by, they would stop in, just say, hey, we want to see how you're doing. And I'd say, oh, good to see you, sisters,
Yeah.
I can't remember what their names were. It was this is like 5-6 years ago. But, I mean, it was cool, I mean, it was always like they would just stop through. No, and they never tried to preach anything at me. They never tried to, because I told them from the get-go, I was like, you're not converting me to anything, and it's like, And I said, and by the way, I paint all your churches too, you know. And they're looking at me like, huh?
Yeah, like, what? Who is this guy?
Yeah, like, what the? You know, it was pretty funny.
No, it's funny because I had the sister missionaries in my house today, and then my father-in-law just tried to keep my conversation super low. It's like every time I spoke, it's like, nope, let's change the subject.
Yeah, so just shut Ricardo down. Yeah. Oh, I know. I've been guilty of that at dinner parties from time to time myself. I think probably one of the most angry moments I ever saw my grandfather was, I was back here visiting, and you know, my grandmother and grandfather were they were donors to the Buffalo Bill Museum.
Yeah,
and I called Buffalo Bill a drunken poacher at Thanksgiving dinner. And I thought my grandpa was going to hit me. He was so mad. And as soon as I said it, I realized I shouldn't have said it. You know, it was like one of those things. But it was, but you know, I mean, I'm not going to get into the whole thing. But
it's fine.
I shouldn't have said it.
Yeah,
but I did. Because sometimes I don't have a filter.
No, I mean, that used to be me when I used to talk to my wife after the brain injury. I just say whatever came to my mind, and I was like, oh my gosh, did I just really say that?
But sometimes that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, and really it's almost better.
Yeah.
I mean, because if you do, then you're being honest.
Yeah, no, but
you know what I mean? Honesty is brutal.
Yeah, no, but I was like, fuck the Mormons, fuck the prophet, the Mormon prophet. I was like,
oh God,
fuck the. Yeah. And then my wife, she'd come to me the next day and she'd be like, do you remember what you said yesterday? And I'd be like, no.
Who are you? Oh my God. Oh, you know, the one play that I want to see is the Book of Mormon.
Oh my God, it's great.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Oh, where'd you see that?
No, I mean, I watched it on YouTube. But
okay.
It's just so amazing.
That episode of South Park was so funny. Joseph Smith's Dead Seeing Stone. Dum, 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 dum.
No, but I mean, the whole play.
Yeah, I've heard, yeah, my brother saw it in New York, and he said it was an absolutely phenomenal.
It's just great.
And I love Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
Yeah.
Those guys are great. I mean, but I remember the first time I saw that episode, and I was just, I had to write a paper. God, what was the class? It was like Survey of Christian Thought.
Yeah. Oh my
and I had like a 12-page paper I had to write, and so you had to pick. So I wrote it on Mormonisms, right? So because I grew up here and I knew a lot of Mormons, and I knew a lot of Jack Mormons, and I knew a lot of, you know, I mean, and so I just thought, okay, so I dug into it and wrote a big long paper on it, and then I saw that South Park episode, and just, I mean, I was just losing it.
No, it's just funny because Jack Mormons, I mean, even in Walmart, it's like, I didn't even know that this person was a Jack Mormon, but this person came to a liquor store and bought 3 bottles of Chardonnay, and I sold them. And then I was like, wait. I was like, are you a Mormon? And then she's like, yeah.
Oh, yeah. If you go over to Burlington, like the Burlington bar is now a pizza place. But back in the day, it was the Burlington bar, and it would be funny as hell because we'd work over there sometimes.
Yeah.
And we'd sit there, you know, we'd go in and have lunch in there at the Burlington bar, and you'd watch the Mormons. Like, one guy'd come in, and he'd come in and he'd have his drinks. And you'd see the other guy like drive, and he'd see John's truck out there.
Yeah.
So Bill, he's going to keep on. He'll drive around the block until John leaves.
Yeah.
And then he comes
in.
Yeah. And they wait for one another to leave, and then come in like they're like they're pulling something over on each other. It's crazy. I painted that Mormon church over there too, and I mean. And like I said, I got nothing against any of the people or anything like that. They're great people. I think they've always been nothing but kind to me. They've been nothing but good to me.
But it's like, nowadays it's like, I drink freely all the time at home because it's like, I want to teach my kids that it's not bad if you drink. It's like normal.
You have to, just moderation.
Yeah.
That's the big thing, and that's the problem I think in this country is that kids don't, like kids in European countries and stuff. I mean, I mean, they're allowed to have a glass of wine, and it's taught in moderation. Like here, I mean, it's forbidden, and then you go to college, and then it's just here we go, and you don't understand how to.
I grew up drinking wine with my parents ever since I was like 12 years old.
Sure,
because it's like normal. It's
right? And that's how most cultures are that way, except for here. And I know when I went to college, I mean, it was like a free for all.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, it's Friday night. Let's get stupid and be somebody.
No, it's funny that my parents dropped me off at Miami, and my dad was like, "What alcohol do you want?"
Right.
And I was like, "I'm 18." I was like,
"Yeah,
you shouldn't be asking me that question." He's like, "Well, I'd rather buy it for you, like have you go buy it and then get in trouble."
Right. No, and that's funny. That's funny because I remember my dad coming to visit me in Reno when I was going to school there, and I had a fake ID, and you know, I was like, "Where do you want to go?" And he's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Where do you want to go?" And I took him down to the, you know, the mezzanine between the El Dorado and the whatever they have, the Silver Legacy and all that, where they have the bars, and you know, walked in a place and ordered a drink, and I'm like 19 at the time, you know, and he's looking at me like, you know, I pull out my fake ID, and here you go, and he's like, well, all right then, you know, I mean, it was kind of a funny experience. He's looking at me like, oh, okay, I guess you got this figured out.
No, but it's funny because my dad is like, he was like, I'd rather give you the alcohol than have you buy it illegally. So he bought me like, I don't know, $500 of alcohol, and he's like, just keep it all in your room. And I was like, what the fuck am I gonna do with all this alcohol?
You're Mr. Popular for a while there. How long did it take you to drink $500 worth of alcohol?
Not a long time.
A week.
Yeah,
a couple days. I could imagine at the University of Miami.
Oh my gosh, it was.
Yeah, that place had been off the hook.
And the girls,
I can only imagine.
Because you get all these preppy girls from the Northeast.
I can only imagine the conversations too that you'd have with those people. Oh my God, Becky, jeez, oh my.
Yeah.
Just stupidity.
Yeah.
Oh God. It's like, can you just stop talking? just no more.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Please. Oh, God. Jesus. There's nothing worse.
Yeah,
there's nothing worse.
Back to the topic,
back to UFO. Back to UFOs. Females are UFOs.
Oh my gosh.
No, I don't know. No, I don't know. That's probably about time we should. We should probably maybe wrap it up. I think we've been going for over an hour anyhow.
Yeah, it's fine.
So
I'll come back in a couple of days and we can keep the UFOs going.
Yeah, we'll get back at it. We'll do a little homework. We're going to do some homework. Oh, my God. Becky, did you see the size of her butt?
No, it was awful. But then you just get used to the girl stuck in that way. So it's like, yeah, whatever.
The thing that drives me nuts about it's when they say like every other fucking word. I mean, you're sitting there going, do you know any other word?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, you know, like eating lunch and like, you know, like Barbara said like that, you know, like she didn't like my sweater. And I'm like really kind of offended. Like, you know, like, I mean.
There's like other words that you can use.
Sure, there's plenty of other words. Try not to use those words. And I'm guilty of it. I say you know quite a bit, and I try not to do that anymore. And a lot of times I'll say sometimes, and I try not to do that either. But it's just one of those things. And the whole thing of saying you know is something that I should not say anymore. And I'm trying not to. So hey, hold me accountable, people. Count how many times I say that during a podcast, and if you count the number of times, and you're correct, of how many times I say you know, I'll send you a free T-shirt. All right? Deal? We got a deal. Count them up. You know.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. See, and now the Mormon part of me comes out because it's like, I say, oh, my gosh, instead of saying, oh, my God. Because it's like.
Right. Or guys that say frickin' all the time. That drives me nuts, too. I look at them and go, why are you saying frickin'?
Yeah.
Just say fuck.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
They're like, oh, no. That's a bad word.
I got unfriended by an old friend of mine over that whole thing because I was watching that stupid gold mining show or whatever on Discovery Channel, and that one guy just always says frickin'. And so I put on a Facebook post and I said, listen, I would rather have my son say fuck than say fracking tennis racket.
Oh my gosh.
You know, freaking this and freaking that and freaking. It's like the intention is there. You have the intention of saying fuck.
Yeah.
But instead you say frick.
Yeah.
You know.
It's the same deal.
I just said again. Did you get me on that one?
And I said, "Oh my gosh!"
Yeah, you did
exactly.
And it's just crazy to. I mean, it's just a word.
Yeah.
Swear words are they're just words. They're just syllables. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous the stigma that we put on these words. I mean, why? Frick, fuck, frickin', fucking. It's just, it's God. This. I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I know that the other one sounds to you, but it's nicer. Because we have this stigma in our mind about it that it's the same intention. You know, it's like somebody saying cheese and rice. They're trying to. I mean, what they want to say is Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Or gosh darn it. I mean,
that used to be my wife until I suffered a brain injury.
Gosh darn it.
No, hold on, that used to be my wife because she'd always use other words for bad words, and then brain injury, and then it's like now she's got a mouth, but when she's in front of the kids, she tries to keep it on the element. When it's just her and me, oh my gosh,
she's gonna love you putting her out there like this. Oh my God. Oh, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is not going to be pleased with you.
I know. Sadly.
Nor is your wife.
She's going to be
like, she'll be like, gosh darn it, Ricardo.
You got to stop me.
Freaking fracking tennis racket. Oh, love it. It's so funny. We're such a weird bunch of nitwits. I mean, to make up all these goofy words to substitute for what we are.
Yeah.
I mean,
what we're thinking is like.
And what does it matter? It's just a word. It's a word.
Yeah.
It's a word. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it at all.
Because you've got to sound correct.
According to who? God and baby Jesus. I mean,
oh my
it's
gosh.
It's
I say that again. It's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
God damn it. That's what I always say. God damn her.
Yeah.
You always use that one. God damn her. You know what? I ask people, hey, where the hell's my motherfucker at? You know, they're like, what? So where's my motherfucker? Where'd I leave my motherfucker at? You know, huh? Like, you know. I'm looking for a hammer or something. You know. Where's my motherfucker? Yeah. Who cares?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just they're just words.
Yeah, I agree.
They're just syllables. That's it.
It doesn't make a difference.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean a thing. It doesn't mean a thing. I just don't understand it. I mean, it's why does it matter?
Yeah.
And especially if you're going to sit there and say freaking fracking over and over. I mean,
bullshit.
Yeah, it is bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, bullshnikes. You know, what the hell's the difference?
No difference.
You're saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Your intention is the same, and it doesn't matter what you're. I mean.
Yeah. As long as the intention is the same.
Bullshit. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's malarkey or baloney or whatever. It's all the same intention. You know. It's just. I don't know.
Anyways,
I don't get it. We've gone beyond and into the pale.
Yeah.
So with that, let's play our favorite song. We'll call it a night.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get this thing going.
And then we'll get back on this on Friday. And then hopefully.
But this has been kind of fun. We've had a good time tonight.
Yeah.
I'm just going to turn us down. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in. If you did, if you didn't, well, fuck you.
Okay.
Peace. And chicken grease.
We can't all jump buildings or even stop a speeding car. We don't fight super villains or fly off into the stars. We don't all wear capes, have sidekicks, or even a best friend. But we know where it starts though, and that's usually where you end. And we could be bigger than Batman if we wanted to, bigger than the bombs we're going through. For every little lie you believe usually kiss the girl. We don't have superpowers. Change your phone booths to save the world. We don't all wear capes, have sidekicks, or even a best friend. But we know where it starts though, and that's usually where you end.